1300 WIMG and WPHY Channel 25 proudly presents today's topic on Trenton Talks. Today's topic is a program that discusses the topics that are important to you. And now, today's topic.
And welcome to today's topic. The program is called Trenton Talks. I'm your host, Jacque Howard, and you're listening over WIMG1300 and WIMG1300.com on the internet and television via WPHY Channel 25 in Mercer County, New Jersey. My guest for the program tonight is a friend of Marisa Benson. Marisa, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
Awesome, Marisa. Marisa is a Trentonian, and I like to say Trentonian because if you grew up in Ewing, Lawrence, Hamilton, you're a Trentonian. All right, so Marisa's a Trentonian who's got her finger on the pulse of arts and technology here in the capital city. So Marisa, again, welcome to the program, and let's share a little bit about your history and your background.
Sure. So I was born in Trenton. I was raised in Hamilton and Ewing, exposed to the arts throughout, even in Trenton. I used to go to War Memorial, the State Museum. I wish I ventured out more into locations I do now. And I am really into the arts. I started rapping when I was 12. I started dancing when I was 5. I studied cultural diplomacy in school. And then I further worked on arts management programs for the U.S. Department of State in D.C. And now I'm back here doing a lot of arts consulting, also managing artists, music artists, and even working on arts, not only on a global level, but a local level too. And I'm really excited about what's going on here in the art scene in Trenton.
Fantastic. And we're going to get into details about the art scene in Trenton and the programs that you're specifically created, engaged with, or are leading and guiding. But tell us a little bit about your experience with education and your experience abroad.
Sure. So in my school and my studies, I did papers on like music in times of revolution. I did papers on looking at intellectual property law and the rights of indigenous people, but on artistic design and copyright matters. And then I've also worked on cultural exchange programs where U.S. artists went to countries throughout the world to impart their talent, but also to learn and engage with their counterparts. And then I had the opportunity to work on programs that brought in foreign artists. And I hope at some point we can bring foreign artists to Trenton so that they can be exposed to the amazing art scene going on here, and we can learn a little bit about their culture as well.
Fantastic. So Marisa, speaking in perfect segue into the art scene here in Trenton, tell the listening and viewing audience a little bit about your vision of what's going on in the art scene here in Trenton and some of the positives that can bring.
Sure. Right now, I think the art scene is super diverse and vibrant, which I think is really exciting. Let's say you're a metalsmith. There's a workshop for you to attend. There's an expert in your field that you can meet. If you're a wood carver, again, there's amazing wood carvers. If you're a rapper, there's sessions where you can analyze lyrics or just perform at any type of venue, which is really interesting. And I see a lot more coordination happening, which is really refreshing. But I still think that we need to be a little bit more open on our venues. We need to be a little bit more open about conversations about monetizing our art and just engaging one another.
That's fantastic. You said a whole bunch in a nutshell. So let's talk a little bit about your the two initiatives that you have going on right now, and then give the contact information for both of those.
Sure. So the first series is called Art Speaks, and it's a wonderful platform for artists of any discipline to come together. We welcome visual artists, performing artists. You could be a dancer, you could be a theater artist, a playwright, you could be a rapper. And the forum is for you to present your work and get feedback, because I think feedback is really critical and crucial to moving work forward. And it's also crucial to hear feedback from your collaborators from other artistic disciplines. So say if you're a visual artist, it's great to hear your feedback from a rapper. If you're a comedian, it's great to hear your feedback from a sculptor. it can be really interesting, the different points of view and perspectives of your fellow artists and people in the arts community in general. So that's the first series. The second series is called Arts, Culture, Technology, and Community, or Arts Tech NJ for short. So that's hashtag on Twitter, hashtag Arts Tech New Jersey or Arts Tech NJ. And that series is actually fourth Wednesdays, and it provides a platform for artists who incorporate technology into their work, techies who have side passions on the arts, to present cutting-edge projects, and then to pitch if they're looking for collaborators or if they're looking to hire. And of course, networking always goes down. So that series is on fourth Wednesdays, and the Art Speak series, that's on first Tuesdays. Both events are 6 to 8 at Artworks in Trenton.
And that's Everett Alley in Trenton. So shout out to the Artworks crew, Executive Director Len Lemire, and the rest of the board staff. And in the coming weeks and months, you'll be hearing a lot more about Artworks as we ramp up for one of the largest events to hit this region, and that will be Art All Night. So shout out to Joe Kazemka and the Art All Night crew as well. But for more information, go to artworkstrenton.org. So I've been speaking with Marisa Benson, who is you're an activist. That's the way. You're an arts activist, and you're a collaborator, and two of your programs are called Art Speaks and Arts, Culture, Tech, and Community New Jersey, which is short, Arts Tech New Jersey. How can people get in contact with you and the different initiatives that you're working on?
Okay, so Art Speaks, we have a Facebook page. We also soon will have a website for that. I want to really see collaboration happening not only on-site in person, but also virtually, and maybe off-site as well. So I think that the platform can truly expand in that regard in the future. And then for Arts, Culture, and Tech and Community, or Arts Tech NJ, for that series, we do have a page on meetup.com. We also have a Facebook page as well.
Okay, and the Facebook page, they would type in Arts Tech NJ?
Yes, or they can get in direct contact with me as well, and I'd be happy to help.
Okay, and how can they get in contact with you directly? On Facebook as well?
On Facebook, my name, Marisa Benson, or by emailing me. My email is winter, like the season winter, 0100 at yahoo.com.
Excellent. All right, so you're listening to WIMG 1300 AM and WIMG1300.com, and you're watching over WPHY Channel 25 in Mercer County. The name of the program is Today's Topic, and it's Trenton Talks. So I've been speaking with Marisa Benson, who is a Trentonian, grew up in the suburbs of Trenton, who is reconnected back here with Trenton, and has an international and global perspective on what I wrote here was international and global perspective on social justice and how art can direct that. So can you share a little bit about what your thoughts are with art, the international culture, and the city of Trenton?
Sure, I think there's a lot of potential. One specific event series I'd like to see take shape is to have Skype sessions with visual artists, performing artists throughout the world, but also throughout the city as well, because there's a lot of artists who may have disabilities. They may not have the ability to get out to one of our event series. And I think we should still be engaging those individuals, be it through Google Hangouts, be it through Skype sessions. And I think those sessions can be really engaging in a great way. And there's several venues that I've been eyeing out for that regard. I also think that there can be sustainable partnerships built. There's a great program called Sister Cities, and it would be great if Trenton really worked up the sister city relationship with whatever city that is in the world that we're partnered with. And I think that each arts entity and even people out in the community can reach out to their global contacts as well and get them involved in our scene, get them in the know about our scene. And we can also do a better job at outreach to the diaspora, because the diaspora already has global culture right here, so we can be more inclusive for sure in that regard.
And listening and viewing artists, you can see with the lovely Marisa Benson that she's passionate about what she believes in and her craft. But on top of that, she's also someone who has the actual life experience about it. You've been abroad, you spend quite a bit of time outside of the United States, and I'm sure it's for work as well as pleasure. Can you just talk briefly before the break about your life experiences traveling?
Sure. So just recently, I went to Botswana and South Africa. And in Botswana, I got to take part in a spoken word festival where we were paired up with visual artists. And our task as spoken word artists was to interpret the messages that the visual artists were communicating through their work. And then also I had the wonderful privilege to attend and present at a music business conference in South Africa, where I learned about new things I never knew about, such as needle time rights, which is still an area of performance rights that has not passed in the U.S. system yet, which I found really interesting. But I think the most important thing to do when you're abroad is to document your experience and make sustainable connections with the people you interact with and meet, and create new work with them. Make it hot, make it amazing.
Now, before we get into the break, ladies and gentlemen, listening audience, you can tell that Marisa has a very natural flow in her style of communication, which lends itself perfectly to your performing arts and your spoken word. So before the break, just share a little bit about what you do to perform and the craft that you're working on.
Sure. So I got into rap and spoken word at a young age. I saw hip-hop as such a beautiful tool to address issues the mainstream media tends to ignore, such as domestic violence, such as human trafficking or genocide, or universal issues such as independence. So one of my songs is on the topic of independence, and it looks at independence in relationships. It looks at independence and dignity and self-worth and pride. It looks at independence and a man who has disabilities, who's so powerful he can bring independence to his community. And then it looks at independence and forgiveness. So that's just a quick sample of what some of the material that I work on is about.
And how can folks actually see some of your performing art? Because I know that you have, I've been fortunate enough to see you perform live, but also how can some other people see some of your work?
Definitely get in contact with me. I'm usually performing at several local venues. I do have one song recorded, which is really sad to admit. I should have many more, but I'm working on it. And I do have many songs on SoundCloud as well. And if you're interested in that specific area, I hope that you would come check me out either at Trenton Social or another local venue. At Trend Social, they have amazing open mic nights every Tuesday night at 9. You should definitely come through, especially if you want to share your talent as well.
And they can also reach out to you via email at winter, like the season, 0100. So that's winter0100 at yahoo.com. And the two programs that Marisa is affiliated with and has created and leads very well, I might add, Art Speaks and Arts Tech NJ, and you can find both of those on Facebook. My name is Jacque Howard. You're listening to today's topic on Trenton Talks. I'm your host. This is WIMG 1300 AM, WIMG1300.com, and television via WPHY Channel 25, Mercer County, New Jersey. We'll see you after the break.
Are you an inventor? Or do you know an inventor who would like to attempt to have an invention or idea patented and submitted to industry? InventHelp, America's #1 invention company, has inventors' information you can have free. Record your invention's date of origination, plus get an informative brochure and other material of interest to new inventors from the company whose patent referral services have helped secure more than 7,000 patents. Call now, 800-619-2181. That's 800-619-2181. Even if you only have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll want this free inventor's information. It shows how InventHelp may assist you in trying to patent your invention and submit it to industry. It's a free call, so call now. 800-619-2181. 800-619-2181. That's 800-619-2181.
Welcome back, friends. My name is Jacque Howard, and I am the host tonight for Trenton Talks on the Today's Topic program. This is WIMG1300.com. Over the internet, WIMG1300.com. Apologies. And if you're watching, it's over WPHY Channel 25 in Mercer County, New Jersey. And my guest is Marisa Benson. Marisa is a Trentonian who has spent some time in and around Trenton in the suburbs, but she is deeply rooted into the arts and culture and history of Trenton, has some long experience with education and the arts community, and has talked about two different programs that are her initiatives currently, Art Speaks and Arts Tech NJ, both of which can be found on Facebook, or you can send her an email at winter, like the season, 0100 at yahoo.com, winter0100 at yahoo.com. We've been speaking about her experience historically with art in Trenton and the history, but also her craft. I mean, she's a performing artist as well as a art appreciator and purchaser, which makes a big difference as well. But can you continue to let's drill down a little bit about the international art scene, your involvement, engagement with that in those different programs?
Sure. So when I was working for the government, I worked on amazing programs that included the American Music Abroad program. That was originally the Jazz Ambassadors program. So you're talking like people like Louis Armstrong went out on Jazz Ambassadors. So this program, it evolved over time to include hip-hop, bluegrass, and many other genres now. It also includes American roots. And this particular program sends out quartets throughout the world. So these are U.S.-based quartets to conduct Jazz 101, Hip Hop 101, Bluegrass 101, jam sessions with local musicians, master classes, which are train-the-trainer programs, so that the impact can really have an exponential effect. That was one area that I worked on. Another program I worked on was in the area of film documentary. And on that particular initiative, we had foreign filmmakers from throughout the world to come to the U.S., not only to network with their counterparts, but to learn how to better distribute their film, and to learn how to break through doors and barriers and how to make those connections to do so. And then one of my favorite programs I worked on was a program that brought performing artists from throughout the world to the U.S. to engage with their counterparts in actual classes. So I got to take hip-hop breakdancing classes with Venezuelan b-boys. And in their journey and their experience, they got to meet hip-hop dance pioneers who they would never have had the opportunity to meet, possibly otherwise. And in their experience in learning their craft, they only learned it through videos until they came on the program. And the program enabled them to learn not only their movement, but the fundamentals of their movement. And then the hip-hop dance pioneers that they worked with were able to learn how to teach choreography in the language, which I thought was such a beautiful element to the program. And that was one of my favorite experiences.
You know, I also find it very interesting that everything that you've been sharing throughout this interview, for those of you who are not watching on television, Marisa is a very petite, beautiful person who is of Caucasian background, who you would not expect to be a hip-hop artist and someone who's traveled the globe because of this love of music and art and culture and hip-hop music. So I would encourage the listening and viewing audience to get in contact with her. Again, it's winter0100 at yahoo.com, and just hear some of the experiences and the stories. We can't get into everything in the 30 minutes or so of this program, but there's a lot that's happening, not only in Trenton, but if we drill down with individuals like Marisa, who has this international and global experience, has a global mindset and view, and has settled here in this area and wants to be here and wants to bring some of those life experiences to Trenton, not only for all of us to share, but because it's a revenue generator. It's an economy. It's a culture boost. It's going to be something that can potentially help these children who feel as though life is helpless. Like they don't have a choice. They don't have an option, but they do. And they do have those options because of people like Marisa and people who I'm going to be profiling as much as possible, Lord willing, in the months and years to come. So I want to make sure I get to this question here before we get into any more details about any other subjects. So what were some of the memorable experiences when you were abroad and you were working for the government in these arts programs that most Americans don't even know exist?
Sure. Well, most recently I went to Oman. And in Oman, I had the privilege, and I say the privilege, to attend performances and to speak at the Royal Opera House in Muscat. Oh. And it was just breathtaking. And the people there were really exciting and engaging. But I stepped out of the conference bubble, and I met with hip-hop artists one-on-one. And I actually, to be honest, I was a bit disappointed because I thought I would meet rappers that were really speaking about their culture, the love and pride they have in their country. But instead, the few rappers that I did have a chance to meet were more about rapping about what they heard on the U.S. mainstream. But I did get to meet one or two rappers on my last day who did rap about the pride in their culture and the pride that they have in their country, which is great and memorable.
Wow. So to an extent, Trenton does make and the world does take, right?
Indeed. Indeed. And actually, on that topic, I'm really interested in the concepts of manufacturing. And I think eventually it would be really awesome for Trenton to have a conference and a festival called Manufacture This that went across the arts and really focused on the creative process and truly went beyond the arts community to involve, politicians as playwrights or like your local people in the supermarket as singers on a stage. I think there's a lot of potential in Trenton to grow with the manufacturing concept, and Trenton makes the world takes. It's quite true.
Absolutely. So, folks, again, please take a couple of minutes and reach out to Marisa. You can reach her at winter0100@yahoo.com. But you can also see her and get involved and engaged with the growing, because I've been to these events, the growing two initiatives that she has currently on her plate. The Art Speaks series, which meets the first Tuesday of each month, and Arts Tech New Jersey, which meets the fourth Wednesday of each month. Both locations are the same. Artworks in downtown Trenton, across from the New Jersey Division of Motor Vehicles office on Everett Alley. You can also go to artworkstrenton.org, and you can find some links there as well. Before we close out the program, Marisa, you've shared some about your history. You shared some about your experiences abroad and your arts and your craft and your performing arts. What do you foresee as what art can do for post-industrial cities like Trenton?
I think it can really move it forward, and I think it can improve the economy, but most of all, I think it can impact people's souls and bring people together. And not just bring people together in a room, but bring people together in ways that they're sharing technologies, they're sharing resources, they're mapping their resources, they're finding whatever creativity they have, not only within one another, but within each other, and creating new work and training the trainers, have programs that make an impact across sectors. And I think that eventually we're getting there. And I think right now we're getting there. I think when I think of the art scene in Trenton, I think it's really exciting. And I'd like to see more events that keep moving in that direction and keep pushing the arts forward and lifting the community up. Mm-hmm.
So, and this is a very near and dear fact for me is how do we get these politicians and other leaders in the community engaged? I want your answer for that, but I want to say that there are several leaders and community folk who are very interested in arts and culture and who show up at the events, and there's events constantly here in the city of Trenton. So I'm not going to say your names over the air or over TV because it's a political thing and I'm non-political, but you know who you are. You are my friends, and we in the arts community appreciate everything that you are doing. We're going to keep encouraging you to support the arts, and we're going to continue to see you at all the events, so thank you for that. But Marisa, why don't you share, how do you think we can get more key leaders to recognize the arts culture here in Trenton?
I think we need to make sure that they're genuine stakeholders in all aspects of the process. So if they want to get involved in planning, or even hosting or creating their own events, great. If they want to become a playwright and present, great. I think we should get them involved in every way we possibly can, beyond just being attendees and participants. I think they really need to have an active role, because I think once key leaders have an active stake in society, they're more willing to show up. And they're more willing to participate, and they're more willing to advocate and make policy changes. And I think policy changes will truly move Trenton even further forward.
And touching back again on your history, working for the United States government in international arts programs, for the politicos, there is a market for that as well. Our federal government is currently doing that. And you mentioned Louis Armstrong, so you're talking, that's what, 70 years ago or so?
Right,
So we're going back, and we've been doing this for quite some time. So maybe Trenton can take a look at some of the federal programs that are going on to support the arts and culture, and how that's taking what we're doing here in the United States abroad, and consider, hey, what do we have going on here in Trenton, and how we can take that and kind of send that out. I'm sure I've got some friends over at Sage Coalition who I think would love to go down to Chile and do some graffiti. I think they could use some bicycles over in China. Shout out to my men over there, and so on and so forth. So you said about your performing arts. Again, give some contact information about where people can see you live perform.
Sure. So that would be definitely Trenton Social every Tuesday. That's a series that starts at 9 or so. That's an open mic series that's on 449 South Broad, I believe. And many other local shows, including Art Speaks, which is, like I said, an amazing platform to present your work and give feedback.
Well, I'm going to check the time here and see where we are. Okay, thanks, Fred. Shout out to my man Fred in the booth. We got exactly 2 minutes to go. Is there anything that you want to share in about the next 90 seconds or so about what you're doing, what you'd like to do, what you'd like to see people do, get engaged? Mike's yours.
Sure. I'm really excited about current exhibits that are coming up. I know Sage is hosting at the Studios 209 a skateboard exhibition. And then this Friday at Artworks, they're going to have Control-Alt-Delete, an exhibit of young artists, young contemporary artists from the College of New Jersey. And I think one crucial area we need to work on is our engagement with the youth, but also with colleges and universities and young people and young adults there, or aging adults that may be attending those classes as well. And I think we also need to do a better job of tapping the corporate world, bringing them into the scene. I know there's been community gardening happening with students from Rider University and also with employees of Nova Nortis as well. So it's really exciting to see people engaged, and I just hope that engagement, that level of engagement deepens over time. And I think people like you and I can really take that step, and everyone else who's listening and can definitely take that step, knock on your neighbor's door, say, let's get creative and present your work. and give one another feedback as well.
I think that's a perfect way to close out. You've been fantastic, Marisa. Thank you so much for coming on the program at Trenton Talks and sharing about what you've been doing, what you're going to do, and about your history. I'm Jacque Howard. I'm your host. This is WIMG 1300 over the internet, WIMG1300.com. And before I go, I just want to let you know that there's a couple of events that are going to be coming up shortly, and just keep your eyes and ears open for them, such as artworkstrenton.org. So you can find some more information there as well. And you've been watching over WPHY Channel 25 in Mercer County. Good night.
Thanks to the Go Red for Women campaign, women's heart health is improving, but our work isn't done. Cardiovascular disease, which includes heart disease and stroke, still claims the lives of 1 in 3 American women. But the strength of mothers, sisters, daughters, and friends fighting side by side is more powerful than any killer. For 10 years, we have proudly worn red, shared stories of our survival, and begun to understand the truth about women's hearts. Now that our 10th year is here, it's time to shout louder, stand stronger, and demand change. Visit GoRedForWomen.org to learn more, or call 1-888-MY-HEART. Go Red for Women is nationally sponsored by Macy's and Merck. 1300 WIMG is a proud media sponsor of the American Heart Association Go Red for Women movement.
Tattoos are permanent, but they're not for everybody. The New Jersey Lottery's Win for Life instant game is permanent too. But with a grand prize of $1,000 a week for life, it's definitely for everybody.
Yes! I won!
$1,000 a week permanently. That'll get you plenty of ink, if that's your sort of thing. So win permanently. Play Win for Life from the New Jersey Lottery. Give your dreams a chance.
Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Trenton Titans are the AA affiliate of the Flyers and proud members of the ECHL. The Trenton Titans offer great affordable family entertainment at the Sun National Bank Center in Trenton, just minutes away. Trenton Titans home games promise exciting hockey action, great promotions, autographs, and a chance to see the future stars of the NHL. For tickets, dial 609-341-1100, 609-341-1100, or visit TrentonTitansHockey.com. Dial 609-341-1100, 609-341-1100. Trenton Titans Hockey, family fun for everyone.
Are your cable rates rising? Tired of being pushed around by your provider? It's time to push back. Cut the cable and get Dish installed with absolutely no equipment to buy. Here's the best part. Packages start at just $19.99 a month for an entire year. That's right. Call now and get Dish installed free. Plus HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and Starz free for 3 months. If you call in right now, Dish will also throw in free HD for life. PMG Dish, a Dish authorized retailer, is waiting for your call and can have you watching TV as soon as tomorrow. Call 800-860-0436. Imagine all your favorite movies, sports, and shows in crystal clear digital quality for far less money, and you won't have to deal with the